I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, April the 17th, 2015. In his ongoing efforts to form a government, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met today with Beit Yehudi leader Naftali Bennett in the Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem. He was also set to meet later today with Foreign Minister Avigdor Lieberman. Netanyahu has until Tuesday to either form a government or ask President Reuven Rivlin for a 2-week extension. Lieberman, meanwhile, spoke out earlier today against a request from 16 foreign ministers of the European Union to label West Bank settlement products that are sold in stores across Europe, identifying them as being made over the Green Line. The EU ministers made their plea in a letter sent to Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini, first reported yesterday by Haaretz, who obtained the letter, which was signed by the foreign ministers of France, Britain, Spain, Italy, Belgium, Sweden, Malta, Austria, Ireland, Portugal, Slovenia, Hungary, Finland, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Germany is the only one of the 5 big European states not to sign on to the letter. Lieberman slammed the request, telling Israel Radio today sarcastically that the EU ministers might as well mark the products with a yellow patch or star, evoking the symbol used by the Nazis to identify Jews during the Holocaust. Yesh Atid party leader Yair Lapid spoke to Mogherini over the phone, telling her that the call from the 16 ministers was a, quote, de facto call to boycott Israel and was a stain on the EU. A similar appeal was made to then EU Chief Catherine Ashton back in 2013. French Prime Minister Manuel Valls announced today that his government was investing major funds to put an anti-racism, anti-Semitism action plan into place. This follows the deadly attacks in Paris earlier this year and a sharp rise in anti-Semitic attacks in France in general. Valls said his government was putting over $100 million into the program, whose measures include education and internet monitoring and justice measures, like increasing penalties for hate crimes. Valls said racism, anti-Semitism, hatred of Muslims, of foreigners, homophobia are increasing in an unbearable manner. He said through education and understanding of the other, was it possible to counter negative stereotypes. Valls said French Jews must no longer be scared to be Jewish, and French Muslims must no longer be scared to be Muslim. FBI Director James Comey addressed the National Tribute Dinner at the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, the eve of Yom HaShoah, where he made a point of noting that all new special agents and intelligence analysts for the FBI must attend the Law Enforcement and Society Lessons of the Holocaust program at the museum. The program was developed in conjunction with the Anti-Defamation League back in 1998. Comey said that during the Holocaust, good people helped to murder millions, and that's the most frightening lesson of all. He said that was why agents and analysts were sent to the museum. He said, I want them to stare at us and realize our capacity for rationalization and moral surrender. And honored at the dinner Wednesday night were Benjamin Ferencz and Thomas Bergenthal, who were presented the 2015 Elie Wiesel Award. Ferencz is the last surviving prosecutor of the war crimes trials at Nuremberg. Bergenthal is a survivor of Auschwitz who served for 10 years as a judge to the International Court of Justice at The Hague. Vice President of the United States Joe Biden will address the Yom HaAtzmaut Israel Independence Day event at the Israeli Embassy in Washington next week. Israel's ambassador to the U.S., Ron Dermer, said yesterday that he was honored to host Biden on this 67th Independence Day, which is coming up on April the 23rd. Dermer said, I look forward to having the opportunity to express Israel's appreciation for the support that the Obama administration has given to Israel over the past 6 years and to reaffirm the great friendship between Israel and the United States. Time magazine published its list of the 100 most influential people yesterday, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is among them. Netanyahu was included in the leaders category, written about for the list by former Prime Minister Ehud Barak. Other Jewish men and women of note who made the list, 16 in total, among them fashion designer Diane von Furstenberg, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Chair of the Federal Reserve Janet Yellen, TV writer-director Jill Soloway, journalist and radio personality Sarah Koenig, actress Juliana Margulies, comedian Amy Schumer, and Food Network's The Barefoot Contessa, Ina Garten, among others. And turning now to our programming for tonight, Friday, April the 17th, live Shabbat services from New York City's Central Synagogue are coming up at 6 tonight. And later, more Holocaust programming here on JBS. At 9, a fascinating interview with Auschwitz-Birkenau survivor Clara Wiesel. And at 10 o'clock, the compelling story of the historic flyover of Auschwitz-Birkenau by 3 Israeli F-15s in the Jewish Film Festival's presentation of Eagles Over Auschwitz. That's tonight on JBS and jbstv.org. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, April the 17th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.